Alrighty, welcome into Views from the Sideline. I'm your host, Joey Tysick. My partner, you can see down there, is Malik Hill, even though he doesn't have his name correctly in the Zoom application.
Using somebody else's laptop.
This is
nice.
This is
mine is messed up.
Our NCAA Tournament Edition podcast, our favorite one of the year. We have some special guests that you've seen multiple times before. We got Sammy Taormina over here, host of Between Taorminas. He has a blog, Inside the OAA, and he's a big fan of Michigan State for some reason.
And I have a podcast called OAA Now.
OAA Now. There you go. We got Chris Pappas over here, and former host of Views from the Sideline, and he's a little bit too loyal to Loyola Chicago.
Loyola, Sister Jean, back at it again.
And we got my brother, Jordan. He's been around, been a host, guest, and he's a fan of the small conference teams. So today we are going to fill out the Views from the Sideline bracket. We're going to have some heated debates, but we have 5 of us to complete those debates. And we're going to talk all NCAA basketball. I'm super excited. How you guys feeling about this tournament this year?
You know, I'm very excited because, last year we didn't have the tournament because of the pandemic. You know what I mean? And the tournament this year is in the entire state of Indiana. So, it makes it really interesting.
Right.
I mean, we've waited 2 years for the NCAA tournament now.
Yeah, I think the last time that we did a show, me and Malik were getting ready to do like Big Ten tournament stuff from last year, and then it all got canceled.
Yeah, I was ready to put Dayton in the Final Four. I was excited for Obi Toppin.
Obi Toppin was going to take
Dayton.
it. Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, Dayton was the number 1 seed last year.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
My bad.
They were a top team.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
They were going to do it.
Right.
I wish they would have came out with a bracket last year. Just like a theoretical bracket. Yeah. Well, everyone's in quarantine. You could just fill out the bracket and be like, this is what would have happened. That would have been cool.
I think Michigan State would have been Final 14 though.
Oh my goodness.
They actually might have. They were on a roll.
I would have put a 16 seed in the championship game.
Yeah.
No.
Alrighty. Let's get right into it. Let's move right through some of the easy ones. We'll start up in the West bracket. So everybody following along. Anybody that's going to use us to help them make their bracket, I don't know if that's a good or a bad idea.
I was going to say good luck.
Good luck.
But West number 1 seed Gonzaga, top overall seed of the tournament. They're going to be playing the winner of Norfolk and Appalachian State. You guys aren't picking anybody else, right? It's Gonzaga.
No. I wish Appalachian State would have played Michigan in this bracket.
Oh, my goodness.
I wish, because then we had great memories of that game in September 1st on 7. That was college football.
It's a different sport, Sam.
People's lives, I know.
Different sport.
Malik, are you okay over there?
Yeah. Got my team.
All right, I'm putting Gonzaga for us, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Gonzaga's undefeated. Now, are they going to have a perfect season? I would probably say no. I know some other people might say yes, but they're going past the winner of Norfolk.
Listen, they got a top 5 pick, maybe top 3 pick. Drew Timme is one of the best big men in the country. Corey Kispert is a lottery pick. I mean, they got so much power. It's ridiculous.
You know what? They remind me of Kentucky in 2014 when they had Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns, that whole lineup where
Devin Booker.
That team had 2. Yeah, that team had 2 starting 5s.
That's what I'm saying, and
yeah,
that's kind of the power we're working with. And they were having, I think they had a perfect season up until the tournament as well too. So that's why I feel like they're primed for some upset at some point throughout this tournament.
We'll see. I mean, but I got Gonzaga confidently.
We're gonna find out.
All right. Yeah. Next one. This one I think is pretty interesting, actually. 2 teams that started off hot in the season that have kind of had their missteps here and there later on in the season. Oklahoma and Missouri. Sammy, let's start with you.
2 former teams that used to be in the Big 12. I mean, Missouri now in the SEC. They started off hot. Oklahoma, I haven't done my research a lot on Oklahoma, but then again, I've done my research on Missouri. But Oklahoma's been playing really well lately. I mean, but then again, I do like Missouri. I really like the Tigers, what they've been doing. Give me Missouri in that game. Give me Missouri.
Okay. Chris?
I mean, this is actually a very evenly matched game. I mean, if you're looking at the points they allow per game, they're essentially right around 70. The points they put up per game, they're right around 73. This is a very evenly matched matchup. Missouri has played better against the top 25 this year. They have a winning record. They're 4-2, opposed to Oklahoma, who has a losing record. I think I'm gonna take Missouri just because of what they've shown against top-ranked teams this year. But I think it's gonna be a close game.
All right, Malik, what do you got?
I feel like Missouri has kind of lost a lot of the momentum they had going early in the season. They started off hot. They beat Illinois first 2 weeks of the season. They go on a run at the start of the SEC schedule. They're ranked. And then things start to fall apart a little bit. Yeah, Xavier Pinson is good. Their big man Tillman is good. But after that, I like the Smith brothers, Drew and I forgot his brother's name, but they're both pretty good. But honestly, I think the matchups favor Oklahoma more. And I like how they played in the Big 12 tournament, even though they didn't end up getting to the championship. They had some pretty good wins in the last few weeks of the season. I think they're pretty confident right now, so I'm going with Oklahoma.
Jordan, who you got?
I'm going with Oklahoma. They definitely haven't been able to beat some of the bigger teams. They struggle with Oklahoma State and stuff, but they're supposed to be a better team this year. I think they rise to the occasion.
Yeah. First. This is gonna be one of my favorite. Well, not favorite, but like one of my early game watches that I'm excited for. It's gonna be like a night game, 7:25, so it's gonna be perfect time to watch. I'm gonna go with Missouri as the tiebreaker. We'll let somebody else be the tiebreaker the next time. But I just think Missouri, they got the guard play through Drew Smith, Xavier Pinson. Like I think Missouri is poised to do something, and I just think they're a little bit better than Oklahoma right now. So going with Missouri. So our bracket shows Missouri. All right, next matchup, number 5 Creighton also kind of struggled. They struggled in their Big East tournament a little bit, and then my team, UC Santa Barbara.
Your team? Oh, okay.
My team, UC Santa Barbara. All right, this time we're gonna start with. I'll start. I'm picking UC Santa Barbara. I'm picking UCSB right here to upset Creighton. I don't think Creighton's that good. A lot of people think that they just kind of misstepped in the tournament. I just think they're struggling right now, and UCSB is on a big run right now. I really like watching Ja'Cory McLaughlin. He was really good in their tournament, and I think they could do something if they stick around in that game. Obviously, if they start getting blown out, it's hard for those little teams to come back. But if they can stick around, I think they got a good chance. I'm going with UCSB. Jordan, who you got?
I know you're big on UCSB. I don't know if I'm falling all the way into it. I got Creighton for sure. I haven't even watched any US or UCSB, so I can't be commenting on it.
Most people haven't, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think many people have, but I haven't done my research. I'll go Creighton.
And I'll say one other thing real quick is that if Marcus Zagorowski gets going for Creighton, then it's probably curtains. But I'm relying on that he's going to continue to struggle. Malik, who you got in this game?
As this bracket was going, I was on Twitter, and this became the first instant trendy pick of an upset. And usually whenever people jump on an upset, the very first one, it's not the one that works out. So I'm going with Creighton in this one. I trust Marcus Zagorowski in the tournament. I think they have so many shooters that, they have 4 or 5 guys that if they get hot, it could jump to a 20-point lead within 3 or 4 minutes. And like you said, it's going to be hard for USCB to get back into it if Creighton gets hot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to go with Creighton.
Chris, who you got?
I mean, I think one big stat here that points towards Santa Barbara.
Yes.
In 2021, I know they haven't played against any of the top 25, but they're 18-1. They finished the season strong. They're red hot. Creighton, meanwhile, is kind of trending downward. I think, especially with the NCAA tournament, when you're trying to find a good upset pick, it's that perfect storm of a team trending downward and a team that's red hot. And it's that perfect scenario. I think Santa Barbara all the way. I think it's an easy upset pick.
Easy.
Wow, I'm the tiebreaker.
Easy.
All right, Sammy. It's all up to you.
This one's an easy one for me.
Oh no.
I'm taking. What is the name of?
The Gauchos. The Gauchos.
I'm taking the Gauchos.
Yes.
Here's why. Because Crichton's not played well. They've not played good basketball. If they have that play like it's hot, I think Crichton can win this one. But I just see Santa Barbara just going up to the occasion, rising up, and pulling out this upset. You know what I mean? I mean, there's always something that happens when a 12 upsets a 5. You know what I mean? So this is the sexy pick right now when you look at it.
Yeah. Cool. I like it. Gauchos moving on. Alrighty, next one. This is an interesting game because Virginia is still in quarantine, and we're not really sure if they're getting practice or what they're able to do during this time, during their quarantine. As long as they have 5 players to go, they can play. But if those 5 players are none of them are starters, I'm very concerned about this team, even though, they're one of the top ACC teams. They get to play Ohio, who the last couple times they've gone dancing, they've made some upsets. Ohio kind of on a good run. I know, Jordan, you're a big fan of Ohio. I'm going to let you start this one. We're going to let Chris end it because he is in Ohio. So he'll get the tiebreaker for this one. Jordan, who you got for this?
Well, I got the Bobcats. I'm a Maction guy myself. So, but Ohio, definitely, they've been tough all year. Ben Vanderplas and Jason Preston they're just amazing. They're great players. They, like I said, they weren't expected to come out of the MAC. I think at the beginning of the year they were, but then struggled a little bit mid-season. But when they went through the MAC tournament, they played phenomenal. I mean, earlier in the year too, they had that great game with Illinois, hung with them the whole time. They're
only lost by 2.
Yep. Yeah, only lost by 2.
They hold their guys. They got some juniors, some seniors. They're ready to go.
Alrighty, Malik, who you got in this one?
I'm also jumping on the Maction train.
Let's go. Okay, Chris, you're not the tiebreaker. I can already see.
Preston, has one of the best stories in college basketball, honestly. A kid that wasn't recruited, went the prep school route, was barely recruited there. Ohio just threw him an offer when they saw him once, and now he's one of the best players in the country. And they have depth besides him, too. They go like 7-8 deep. And, yeah, I think mixed with the quarantine stuff and the fact that I think they don't have the firepower they had a few years ago with Kyle Guy and Ty Jerome, DeAndre Hunter. They have Sam Hauser, and then a collection of guys that put forth a lot of effort on offense.
Yeah.
But it usually doesn't lead to, they don't score over 60 a whole bunch.
Yeah, they're going to win games through their defense.
Yeah, it's usually through defense, and I don't think they're as deep or as powerful as they were a few years ago.
I mean,
I think they're very vulnerable.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry. But I mean, Ohio puts up points too. I mean, it's kind of a bad. It's one of those matchups that's really not a great matchup for that top seed. Ohio puts up points. Virginia struggles to score. They've had COVID issues over the last few weeks.
And you got to think. Sorry to butt in real quick, but when Virginia loses, they lose big. Lost to Gonzaga by 20. They lost to. I'm talking about this year, Sam. Talking about this year. They lost to Gonzaga by 23. They lost by 20 to Florida State. It's like when this team falls behind a team that can shoot well, like Florida State's one of the best offenses in the country. Ohio, if they get hot and they get going, they just put up points. I don't know. Virginia's going to fall behind. And if they don't have their full team, it can be rough.
Yeah.
I mean,
if they get down, it'll be a struggle.
Yeah. Chris, finish your point.
Another thing for Ohio too. I mean, we just talked about this. I mean, it's very very senior junior heavy team, and we've seen if you're going to be a lower seed that upsets a higher seed, you need to kind of have that senior junior population on that roster. So I really think it's a very solid upset pick.
I say it every year. If you have senior leadership and you can shoot threes, you have a good chance.
Yep. I'm going to complete the upset pick. I'm going to take Ohio as well. I mean,
all right.
They score points. I mean, like Virginia can't score. I just think Ohio too much in this game for Virginia.
Yeah. All right. Means Virginia's going to the Final Four. Everybody here heard it first.
What is that? Is that a clean sweep for us picking Ohio?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's our first clean sweep, right? Oh no,
man.
Gonzaga technically, but okay. Next up, we got the 6 and 11 USC coming out of the Pac-12, and then we got the winner of Wichita State and Drake. Let's start with Malik on this one.
I'm going to take USC. I think Wichita had a really good run during the season, but they got to the conference tournament and they kind of lost some of that juice. I think Loyola kind of took some of their confidence away after they beat them twice in the regular season and then in the conference championship in like a 2-week span. So I think it'll be a close game between Wichita and Drake, but I honestly don't think either of them can beat USC in what they have. They have another top 5 pick with their big man.
Mm-hmm.
They have surprisingly good guards that are mostly transfers. And a lot of people thought UCLA would be ahead of them in the Pac-12 this year, but USC ended up being ahead of them. So I'm going to go with USC.
All right. Sam, who you got?
I'm going to take the win. I'm going to take Drake. If it's Drake, I think they're going to beat USC. Wichita State, I just can't trust the Shockers, especially with everything that's going on this offseason. I mean, this season with them with the coaching change. I just think that if it's Drake, they're going to upset USC. If it's Wichita State, USC is going to move on.
All right. So who do you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be Drake, and Drake upsets USC.
Okay. All righty.
Full of upsets in this first one.
Yeah. I'm going to go along with Sam here.
What?
I think if Drake makes it out, they have taken the Loyola Chicago magic from Loyola Chicago.
Oh, what?
What?
Yep.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
God, Joe.
They
stop.
saw what Loyola did before. They said, "Hey, we're in the same conference. We
And
can
Loyola beat up on them when they saw it firsthand when Loyola beat up on them.
Yeah, but Drake beat them early in the season. So
Yeah, they beat them once, but Loyola beat them twice.
Yeah.
yeah, but they don't have to worry about those guys. They just know. And Drake's like a sharp shooting team. Like they just fire up threes. So they're always on my upset alert. I'm going with Drake for the fun. Chris,
Yeah.
obviously you
memes.
don't. It's not
No,
a
I'm going USC. I mean, Evan Mobley is a monster. They have a very big front court. USC does, which I think you match it up against Wichita or Drake. They really can't match up against the USC front court, which is going to be a huge thing in this matchup. They can just kind of play some bully ball. They can slow the tempo down and it can be a low scoring game, and they'll still come out on top just because they don't have the physicality to match with USC.
Gotcha. Jordan, who are you going with?
I think the playing game does play a big factor in the actual game because I think Wichita State I've only seen highlights of them. I haven't sat down and watched a game. So I think they could be tough. Drake, though, I think will beat them. But USC, I think overall will be too much for Drake. I don't know about Wichita State, so I'll go USC.
Okay.
Look at what Cam Crutwig at Loyola did to Drake twice. That big man.
Now think what Evan Mobley's going to do to them.
All right, all right.
30 and 15. No.
I just struggle to believe in the Pac-12 necessarily. Even though I think some of their teams could make some upsets and stuff, but
They're getting better. It's just they're still out there yet.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3 versus the 14, we got Kansas, a team that looked really good early on, had some big wins. Another one of those teams that kind of struggled a little bit down the stretch. But they're still a really tough team. That's why they're the 3 seed. They're playing Eastern Washington. Any of you guys going with Eastern Washington?
I don't think
I'm going to
so.
say it outright because
I'm going Kansas.
Chris, if Rodney Stuckey was still there at Eastern Washington, I bet you'd take him.
100%. Rodney Stuckey.
I was close.
The Pistons ruined his career. Rodney Stuckey was going to be good.
Sammy, what's your reasoning?
Close because of everything that's been going on with Kansas. On the football side of things, with Les Miles, their athletic director's out. You've got NCAA sanctions possible against Kansas. I mean, I was really close, but at the end of the day, I just still think Kansas, closer than the experts think, gets by the second round.
Okay. Alrighty. So we'll move on to the 7-10 matchup. This one is a little bit interesting as well. We got Oregon playing VCU. I'll just start with mine. I think Oregon's the better team in this matchup. I just think both of these schools have been there, but the Ducks, they went on a run at the end of their tournament. They won 11 of their last 12. I mean, they lost to Oregon State, which hurt, but they were looking strong coming into their tournament. And if they can just fix a couple of those things, I think they're going to be a really tough team. So I have them winning. Chris, who you got?
I got Oregon too. I think they're actually a prime team to go decently far as a 7th seed.
Yeah.
I think their game plays well to matchups that they have potentially moving forward. I think VCU is a good matchup for Oregon. They're hot. I'll take Oregon.
All right. Jordan?
Yeah, going Ducks. Just that 11 out of 12 coming in hot to the tournament's key.
Okay. Malik?
Yeah. I think Oregon makes a statement in his first game. Chris Duarte is one of the best guards in the country.
Yeah.
I think he'll be a draft sleeper too. We're not there yet, but he's
I was gonna say he's my pick for reasoning for Oregon too.
Yeah, and that whole team is just they're in a rhythm right now. I think they'll rebound from that Oregon State game, and I think they're focused. They'll win it.
Sammy, you following the line here?
I'm going exactly what everybody else is following. I've got Oregon too much.
All right. Yeah, I think it's not the year for VCU. We've seen them in the past kind of be bracket busters, but they're not the same team that they've been.
No, they're not.
All right, end of the western side, first round. We got Iowa and Grand Canyon, and is anybody going for Grand Canyon?
No.
Well, no, I'm just.
I him-hawed for a while and thought maybe, and then I was like, no, this is Iowa.
Luka Garza might go for 35 and 15 in this one.
Yeah.
I think this is the game where whoever picks Iowa to go far gets that false hope, because Luka Garza he's really good, especially against lesser opponents. But I feel like there's going to be some matchups here in this bracket that
I think Oregon could give them problems. I really do.
Yeah, I'm not big on Iowa in this tournament, but I think they'll destroy Grand Canyon University.
Alrighty, let's go over to the South. Get some of these Big Ten teams, but we'll save the East and the Midwest for later because those are the number 1 Big Ten seeds. So, in the South, we got Baylor and Hartford starting it out, the 1 seed and the 16. Anybody taking Hartford in this?
No.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. There's my answer.
No, sir.
All right, Baylor all the way. Okay, one of those interesting 8-9 matchups. North Carolina and Wisconsin. North Carolina is a really troublesome team for me to figure out because I feel like they have a potential to make a deep run. I actually think that they could possibly upset Baylor in the second round. But Wisconsin's a Big Ten team. They've played a lot of tough competition. There are tons of guys that have been there for 10 years. Brad Davison, I'm looking at you.
Sam Decker still there?
No, he's not. I mean, how can you not go against experience, my friends? I mean, you look at that matchup, you look at Wisconsin, I mean, they seriously underperformed this year in the Big Ten. I mean, this is a golden opportunity for an experienced veteran team to do some damage. I mean, especially against an ACC blue blood. I mean, you got to go on Wisconsin. On Wisconsin.
Okay. Malik, what's yours? What's your take here?
Experience.
Sammy. Listen, like you said, they underperformed in Big Ten for a reason, man. All those returning guys, Dimitri Trice is the only person that got better. Everybody else stayed at the same level they were at. North Carolina's bigs are going to be a problem for them.
Mm-hmm.
Micah Potter is good. He can go out and hit the three, but those big guys, they're going to give him problems. North Carolina's young guards have gotten better. I don't trust, outside of Dimitri Trice and Micah Potter. Maybe Brad Davison can hit in the clutch, but I don't trust him to score like 15 to 20 points. I just don't see it. I'm going North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Jordan, who you taking in this one?
Big Ten, too strong. Wisconsin.
Oh man,
Too strong.
Well, all right. I'll be the split. We'll let Chris decide this one. I'm going North Carolina. I think they've looked really good down the stretch. I agree with Malik. I think their bigs are going to be way too tough. The only thing I can see Wisconsin doing is if they can keep it close. Wisconsin might be able to close out a game better, but I don't think it's going to come down to that. I think North Carolina is not going to blow them out, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a comfortable lead at least. And Caleb Love is just really good. Chris, you're the deciding factor.
Well, I think it starts from tip-off. I mean, it just depends on what kind of game is being played. Are we playing more UNC style where it's more at least a little bit more of a faster pace, or are we going to play that Wisconsin slow down the pace, get into our bigs, work it around the perimeter? I'm leaning towards Wisconsin. Brad Davis, Davison, 55% of his shots come from three. He spreads the floor well. I think the Big Ten has been so good this year. That's why we've seen Wisconsin struggle a little bit. I think against UNC, who is in a down year for North Carolina, I'm going Big Ten. Give me Wisconsin.
If Trice and Potter get it going, they have a chance.
I think this is
they
a
gotta
team.
be hot.
If this was a different year for UNC, no way would I be picking Wisconsin. But it's a down year for the Tar Heels. Wisconsin's played against great competition. The Big Ten is the best we've seen the Big Ten in a long time. So I'm going to take that experience of Wisconsin playing against so many Big Ten opponents that are just upper echelon in this tournament that gives them enough confidence to take down North Carolina.
Okay. Alrighty. There we go. We got Wisconsin. Moving on. Here's a popular upset pick now. The number 5 seed in the South, Villanova, without their starting point guard. And they get Winthrop, who's only lost one game on the season. A lot of people are fans of Winthrop. I, however, am not. I think they're a good team, and I think they have a chance to stick around and maybe upset this game. But Villanova, Jay Wright's going to have those guys ready. He's been here before. He knows what he's doing. This is still a good team, even without their starting point guard. They're always like a deep-rooted team, and I just think the experience is way too much. Like they know what they're doing. I don't have any concerns about Villanova. I'm going Villanova.
I do.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Here's why. Because Winthrop, they got one loss. This is a good basketball team.
Yeah.
They're gonna score a ton of points. Villanova doesn't have a starting point guard. That's an issue in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at Winthrop here, I'm taking Winthrop upsets Villanova. Jay Wright, the V. Bye-bye.
Malik?
Hey, Joey,
Malik, who you got?
Do you know who they've been playing at backup point guard for the past 5 or 6 games?
No.
You remember Archidiakono?
Oh yeah, his brother. I saw that he's on the team. Yeah.
You trust that?
No. I trust Villanova.
No.
You got to have a point guard in the tournament, Joey. You got to have a high level point guard.
I feel like you can get past the first round without a high level point guard, though.
The only thing that's interesting though is because Winthrop's starting point guard is like quote unquote LaMelo Ball. He's 6'7", kind of a triple double kind of guy.
Let's chill with that.
Hey, that's what people are saying. That's what ESPN's telling me.
Whoever's saying that
is wrong.
All right, Malik, finish. What you're going with Winthrop then?
Me and Sammy are together on this one.
Man.
Thank you.
All right, Chris, who you got?
Oh, give me Nova. I'm not buying into the Winthrop hype. I know they've lost one game, but they didn't play anybody in the top 25. They really haven't played too many challenging teams this year. Villanova's 3-1 against the top 25. I know that their point guard play is a question, but I think it's at least enough to get them past Winthrop. Give me Nova.
All right, Jordan, big school versus little school. Who you got?
You know he's going middle school.
It's always tough for Villanova, losing an 8-year senior or whatever he is. But yeah, like Joey said, Jay Wright, better coaching. There ain't no way he ain't gonna let it.
Nova, moving on, boys.
Love it.
Sorry for you Winthrop fans. Well, you can rub it in our faces if we're wrong. But the bracket doesn't lie. All right, number 4 seed, which I am very interested to see everybody's take on, Purdue versus 13 North Texas. Is anybody going for North Texas in this one?
Nope.
I want to just because of Tony Mitchell, but I'm not leaning.
Listen, North Texas has a really good young point guard that's like been getting like NBA buzz recently, but
Yeah, they're talking like
Purdue.
borderline pick though. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
but-
probably an undrafted summer league guy who might stick to a roster, which is, I mean, that's great. That's a top tier player in the world, but
yeah. But Purdue, they've played so tough lately.
Hmm.
Like they almost beat Ohio State just because Big Trey Williams was unstoppable
Yeah.
for like the last 5 minutes of a whole game.
Mhm.
They almost lost. Ohio State almost lost to them, and then they're all their freshmen have been playing in like great basketball. They have big Zach. Is it Zach Edey? I think that's his name.
Mhm.
Yeah, the big 7'4" kid. He's shooting like almost 70% from the field when he comes in. They just have too much, really.
Here's something we got to think about though too. When it comes to the matchup, 25 out of the last 35 years, a 13 seed has beaten them 4, and so it's more likely than not. Or 4-13. I'm sorry, I said the wrong thing.
Yeah, we already picked Ohio, Chris. We can move on.
Exactly.
That's true. All right, so we're good.
But I just think Travion Williams is too much for a lot of these teams.
Yep.
So, especially a smaller conference school, like I think he's gonna eat all day.
Mean green.
And
in
how-
North Texas.
How does Purdue every year get the biggest guys in the country? They just recruit the biggest guys.
It's what they do.
Yeah.
It's like
They have a
at Florida-
7-footer almost every year.
At Florida State, they recruit nothing but centers over like 7 foot.
That's true.
That's all they recruit.
Okay, so we got Purdue moving on. And now we're moving on to the 6-11 matchup, which is also very interesting. I know fan favorite Texas Tech, made a Final Four appearance the last time we saw them, well, finals appearance. And now they got Mac McClung, social media kind of superstar, playing Utah State, who's always a team that can drain some threes. My man Sam Merrill.
Can you do that again, Joey?
What's that form?
So I'll start right off the bat. Well, it's my left hand, that's why. I got Utah State in this one. I think they can upset again. They're just one of those teams that shoots the ball well, and they're in my algorithm of possible upsets. And I think Texas Tech has stumbled a little bit here and there. They could be really good or really bad, and I think they're on the downward trend right now.
Well, I think your algorithm is wrong, Joey, because Texas Tech is going to go far.
Okay.
Mac McClung, I think he's going to hit his stride. He's going to have a big tournament. I'm taking Texas Tech in this one. I think it's going to be a double-digit win for TT.
Malik, I'm curious to see what you got on this one.
Listen, man, I've been a McClung fan for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
This is his coming out party.
There were a lot of doubters that thought he couldn't do it on this level, and he's shown them he can do it. And they have a good overall team too. It's not just Mac McClung. Yeah, the Big 12 might be right behind the Big 10 in terms of like strength of conferences. Like the top 5 or 6 of the Big 12 was like neck and neck for most of the season. And Texas Tech was right in there for a lot of it, but they had a whole bunch of close losses to like West Virginia and other schools. But I still think they're a really good team. Chris Beard just had Texas Tech in the championship 2 years ago. I think these guys are tough. I think they come out with a really good win in the first round.
Okay. Malik's a little bit upset that Utah State beat San Diego State twice in the season. Jordan, who you got in this one?
I'm going with Tech. They're just more athletic, bigger, faster, stronger. And then Mac McClung, I think, with his wasted year at Georgetown, it is, like Chris said, coming out party. I think he goes off. Nothing you can do.
Sammy, you resonating
I'm gonna
with
go
that?
with the same thing what Jordan said. I mean, like same thing. I mean, same exact thing I was thinking also. But I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. But I think at the end of the day, I think Tech too much.
Okay, fair enough. I still think Utah State's got a chance. Anyway, we're moving on to the 3-14 matchup. Another one that people have been talking about, possible upset.
This one's gonna be fun.
But I'm
It's gonna
not.
be a high scoring game.
We got Arkansas.
scoring.
Yeah, we got Arkansas versus Colgate. Sammy, start us off.
First team out to 100 wins. That's what I'm looking at this game. I got Colgate actually upsetting Arkansas because and I think it's gonna be 115 to 109. I think it's gonna be that type of high scoring game because neither team can't defend, neither team can really defend or guard anybody. I think it's gonna be a bunch of points. It's gonna be a pick'em game. It'd be a pick'em game, street ball game. That's how I'm looking at this game.
Chris, where are you going?
This one's tough for me because I'm not huge on Arkansas, but Colgate, like, they score a lot, but their defense might be worse than Arkansas, and that says a lot. I'm going to say Arkansas in a close one. I think this is going to be one of those games that you get those notifications like, oh, Colgate might be upsetting Arkansas, but I'll take Arkansas to pull it out in the end. This is a tough one, though, because I'm not big on either of these teams.
Jordan, where are you going?
Yeah, I'm going Razorbacks. Shoot the ball, man.
Yeah.
But I don't, like I said, I don't know much about Colgate. I've seen them put up a lot of points, but like we don't know about the defense. Go and hire recruits, better recruits, Arkansas.
Yeah. I'll give a little background for Colgate. They did good defensively in their conference. They're one of the better teams at holding people from shooting threes and kind of limiting.
Patriot League, right?
Yeah, limiting opponents, but that's the Patriot League. Razorbacks all the way. Malik, what you got?
Yeah, I'm also not incredibly high on Arkansas, but they're 3 seed for a reason. A lot of people haven't watched them, but yeah, they got a lot of young, really good guards. Moses Moody is a pro. They also got some good size. I think, yeah, I wouldn't say it'll go into the hundreds like Sammy said, but I think it could be high 80s. I think it could be high 80s if it goes overtime, 90s.
All right.
Arkansas.
We got Arkansas moving on that one. Now we got one of those fun 7-10 matchups. We got Florida going up against Virginia Tech. SEC versus ACC. I'm going with Virginia Tech in this one. I think they're very low seeded for the type of team that they are. They have wins over Villanova and Virginia this season, and Florida's just not what people know Florida to be this year. I think like a 7 for them is good, but they're not like a powerhouse type team in the SEC. I just think Virginia Tech is way too good, and I think it's unfortunate that Florida has to play them in the first round. I'm going VTech. Jordan, who are you going? Wait, what? Go ahead, Chris.
Question for you: do you have any concerns with 5 of their last 8 games being canceled due to COVID? Do you feel like there might be a little bit of a layover into that first round matchup?
No, I think it like having it somewhat early enough to be able to still bounce back to it. I think like they've still been able to get back into a rhythm a little bit at least, where it's not like Virginia where they're coming completely cold turkey into this tournament.
Yeah.
At least Virginia Tech's been able to get back out on the court and stuff. Jordan, who are you going with in this one?
I got VTech as well. They're 4-0 versus top 25 opponents. They play defense. They're always a tough team, and I think the SEC might be a little overrated this year. I think they got some better teams than they usually are, but I can't see Florida beating VTech.
Sammy, where are you going?
I've actually got Florida. I mean,
Okay.
like Chris said, I mean, I don't know what's going on with Virginia Tech. You know what I mean? I'm a little concerned about the rust factor surrounding them. So Florida, not as good of a team as they've been in years past, but for a lot of that, I know they didn't have their best player. I know he got into he collapsed earlier in the season. But I just think that motivation of him is going to lead Florida to win over Virginia Tech.
Okay, so Malik's got Sammy's got the
I got the Gators.
the motivation factor behind the Gators. All right, Malik, where are you going?
Yeah, before Virginia Tech had to sit out a few games, they were playing like almost a top 10 team in the country. Like their highs were as high as a lot of like top teams. They were just blowing teams out, and it was a surprise that they were that good. Like Kevin Aluma, their big man, is honestly maybe one of like the 10 best big men in the country. He can hit from three. He's good in the post, and they got tough players all around. I think Virginia Tech wins this one. I think they're just overall a better team, better coached, taking Virginia Tech.
All right, Chris, what's your final take? I know you've had some thoughts.
This one I've been wavering on. You guys have kind of convinced me Virginia Tech. I got Florida in my bracket. Just for stubbornness, I'm going to stick with Florida and to mix it up a little bit. But you guys have made some really good points for me to lean towards Virginia Tech. But I'm going to stick with Florida.
Okay. All right, then we got Big Ten, Ohio State, number 2 seed, playing Oral Roberts, Summit League champion, beating Malik's OU, and I'm sorry.
Oh, he's in the Horizon League now.
Oh yeah, Horizon. Sorry. Anyway,
Come on.
they still beat OU.
Yeah.
Anyway, Oral Roberts has the best scoring player in the country. Does anybody have Oral Roberts pulling this crazy upset?
Nope.
No. No way.
Nah.
You know, in my pre bracket, I had Oral Roberts going to the Sweet 16,
You would.
but I had to change it. Okay, Ohio State.
State too much firepower.
Ohio
Yeah.
State with the clean sweep.
Mhm.
Let's let Malik decide. Malik, do you want to do the East or the Midwest bracket next?
We can do the East.
Okay. All right. Michigan getting the number 1 seed, playing Mount St. Mary's or Texas Southern, whoever wins that playing game. Anybody have a 16 seed in this one? Sammy, don't even try it.
There's a chance because
You
Michigan's
tried.
limping.
Stop,
No.
Chris. Stop.
This Michigan team has some questions, but we'll talk about that probably in the next round.
They still only lost to Ohio State by 1 without livers.
Yeah.
They're still good, but they have problems. Yeah.
Got problems.
Moving on, you got the 8 seed LSU playing the number 9 St. Bonaventure Bonnies. What's so
Give me
funny, Sam?
LSU.
Okay, Sam's
Jordan,
going.
you got that Pistol Pete jersey. You better take LSU.
You know
He
it.
has no choice.
Okay, Jordan, are you going with LSU?
Yeah, I'm riding high on LSU.
Okay, Malik,
I'm going with the slight upset in this one, St. Bonaventure.
really?
Both of these teams could put up points. I really like how St. Bonaventure played in their conference tournament. They ended up winning it. LSU came up short against Alabama. I think they'll be reeling a little bit off of that loss. I think that was a real heartbreaker. Yeah, I'm taking St. Bonaventure.
Okay, Chris.
I'm leaning with Malik to St. Bonaventure. One thing
Oh,
you got to look at with St. Bonaventure, though, is their interior defense is lacking, to say the least. So they got to tighten that up. I'm going to take them over LSU, though.
wow. Okay, so I guess I'm the tiebreaker.
You're an LSU guy. We know it. Just
I
say
am. I am. Skylar Mays, Trevon Waters.
You're
on,
an
man.
LSU guy all day.
Yeah, I'm going LSU. I think playing close with Alabama, and a lot of people say that Alabama could maybe come out of this part of the bracket. I think shows how strong LSU can be. So I think they're a dark horse in this part of the bracket. So I'm going LSU. This is I'm super excited about this matchup right here. We got number 5 Colorado playing the number 12 Georgetown. This game I've gone so back and forth on because Colorado has some guys that can just straight out play. Like, they're a senior-led team, Watching McKinley Wright the fourth just like go off on certain nights has been incredible. But Georgetown made a huge Big East tournament run, and I mean they're backed by Patrick Ewing, so that's got to say something. So this team looks really good too. I think for this bracket, and for the sake of it, because I think it could be close, I'm going to go Colorado.
Oh, you
And
would.
I think Georgetown is going to have steam, but they're going to have maybe too much confidence going in, and maybe take Colorado for granted.
You think they're gonna have a finger roll that rolls out at the end of the regulation?
Maybe. We'll see. So I'm going Colorado. Chris, who you got?
Give me Georgetown. I'm riding with Pat Ewing. They're hot. You know what? My rule of thumb when it comes to picking teams in the tournament, if they're really hot, they're finishing the season strong, and it's against an opponent that's maybe I'm not too confident in, I'll ride with them. Give me Georgetown 12-5 upset.
Okay. Jordan, who are you going with?
I think Colorado will be a lot like the security guards at Madison Square Garden, and they'll be shutting down Patrick Ewing. And Colorado, they're good. They're tough. They're really tough.
All right.
I think.
Well, I know where Sammy's going, so we're going to let Sammy go next, and we'll let Malik be the tiebreaker for this one. Sammy, what you got?
Georgetown, going the Hoyas. I just think that Patrick Ewing coaching that team, it looks like if they can win this game against Colorado, people are going to believe they're back. So give me the Hoyas over the Buffaloes.
All righty. Malik, you are the
They're not very
tiebreaker.
good this year, Georgetown isn't.
Yeah. You have the power, Malik. What do you got?
Listen, Jordan, like Jordan said, Colorado, they are tough. They got McKinley Wright. They got so much experience. They came short of winning the Pac-12 championship. They're a really good team. And for some reason, I'm still taking Georgetown.
Oh.
There you go.
Alrighty.
I doubted Georgetown all throughout the Big East tournament. And every time they won, I'd be like, oh, they can't keep this going. And they just kept winning somehow. Yeah. They have some type of goal going. And the way they blew out Creighton, it's so weird. They have some type of weird tournament magic going on. I don't know what it is. I'm just going to go with the Hoyas.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Number 4 seed Florida State taking on 13 UNC Greensboro. Does anybody have UNC Greensboro?
No.
Nope.
Okay. That's what I thought. Florida State, one of the better offenses in the country. Looked really good in the ACC at times. Blew out some teams.
They have a 6'10" point guard.
Yeah,
Scotty Barnes.
They're a spooky team.
I love Florida State in this tournament.
I do.
I do too. All right. Here it is. The one, the only 6-11 matchup. BYU playing MSU or UCLA. Sammy, who you got?
I was crying when this came out. I was very upset to see Michigan State in the playing game. I blame a couple people for this, for putting Michigan State in this situation.
Tom Izzo?
Nope. Nope, he's not one of them. But,
oh my God.
But I think they're going to beat UCLA because I think Rocket Watts is going to be the difference in that game. And then when they play BYU, I think they're going to beat BYU. Of
course.
So I got Sparty moving on the second round.
I can tell you there's no way Malik takes BYU. He's taking MSU all day.
He might as well. Sammy, you should might as well say they're making the Final Four right now.
Yeah, exactly. Malik's not picking against MSU.
Go green.
All right, Malik. Malik.
No.
Go green, Rocket Watts. I hear it.
You said me?
Yeah, but I think I already heard your opinion, I guess. Rocket Watts, right? Yeah.
I'm taking BYU no matter who wins at 11.
Wait, are you serious or not?
Yeah.
They don't have an answer for Aaron Henry.
UCLA or Michigan State, I think whoever moves on. BYU, what they did against Gonzaga showed people how serious they are coming into this tournament. Like it took Gonzaga like going into full force in those last 5 minutes for them to beat BYU, and I think they're on a roll right now.
Yeah.
I think whoever plays them at that 11, BYU wins.
Here's my opinion on that. if there's no Jimmer for that, I'm not picking BYU. Give me MSU or UCLA. It doesn't matter.
Oh man. Okay. I'll let Jordan be the tiebreaker on this one. Spoiler alert. So my thinking for MSU, I do think that MSU probably wins this game, but don't be surprised if UCLA comes out of it because UCLA is a pretty good team too.
It's a toss. It's honestly a toss up.
Yeah. But the one thing I will say for Michigan State's sake, if they do win this game, I think getting the playing game was the best thing for them. Getting an
Why?
extra game to get ready for the first round, I think is what a team that Tom Izzo needs. Like these guys need a warm-up game to be ready because they just came out of that Maryland game looking rough. So they gotta get it back to what they were before that to be able to make a deep run. I think they can do it, but I just think they're gonna come up short. I think BYU is just a dark horse in this tournament actually because they just throw up threes. They got my man Matt Harms over there now that I didn't even know about until midway through the season.
Wait, Matt Hard's transferred from Purdue?
Yeah, see? They got big man Matt Harms over there. Yeah, what is MSU going to do against Matt Harms, Sammy? Exactly. All right, Jordan, who you got?
I think
Tiebreaker.
MSU very fortunate to even be in the tournament, let alone to be honest. But like I said, I don't know if I believe in that Mormon magic over there in Utah, so I'll go with whoever the 11th seed is.
Oh, man.
All right, my last thing on the topic. January, February, Izzo. Give me MSU.
Thank you.
I think them having this extra play does either really help them or they'll lose to UCLA.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, just remember Middle Tennessee State, everybody.
I have nightmares thinking about that day again.
Get pots.
All
I
right.
have nightmares.
We got number 3, Texas, playing 14, Abilene Christian. I so wanted to go with Abilene Christian in this one, but I can't.
Why?
Do
After-
it, Joey. Do it.
Because when you
Why?
go back and you look at Texas's resume, they're a much better team than a lot of people think. And they got Andrew Jones, one of the better scorers in the country. I just can't. I can't go against Texas. I think
Welcome Horns.
Texas could make a deep run in this tournament too.
They have
Horns.
everything it takes to be a Final Four team. They have everything it takes.
Yeah,
I agree. Give me
Mhm.
Texas.
Welcome
Texas,
Horns.
Jordan, Texas.
Yep, been to both campuses recently, both beautiful. Shaka Smart though. Hook 'em horns.
Yeah. Alrighty. Interesting matchup. 7-10 as usual. We got Big East, UConn, and Big Ten, Maryland. Two teams that have kind of been up and down all season. Maryland, obviously, if they were playing MSU, it'd be an easy win, but they're not. So let's start with Chris. Who you got this one?
I'm going with the Huskies in a close one. This is another one of those 50-50 games for me because Maryland has looked really good too, and it's a Big Ten team that's played against great competition. I'm gonna lean with the Huskies just because they finished the season out pretty strong, but it could go either way.
Jordan?
I got Maryland. This is Big Ten's tournament. This is all Big Ten teams are going to win the first game.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
Yes, sir.
Sammy?
Big.
I've got Maryland. I mean, I just think that the competition the Big Ten has played against the Big East. I just think Maryland has got enough. There's just enough. I think it's gonna be a tight game. Just give me the Turtles.
All right. Malik?
I feel like Maryland does have some better matchups in this game, but they can go hot or they can go extremely cold, and there's like no in between with Maryland. So I don't really trust them, honestly, in this. I'm going to go UConn.
Okay. I did not expect to be a tiebreaker on this one. So to keep the tiebreak simple, because I'm also kind of back and forth on this matchup, we're just going to go Big Ten moving forward.
Oh, that sucks.
Maryland moving on. What? That sucks. What are you talking about, Chris?
Huskies, man. That's the
You're
bad
still
thing
in
about it.
Ohio. You're still Big Ten country, man.
I know. I'm just saying the Huskies. They're coming out on top in this one.
Nah, they ain't the same. All right. Alabama versus Iona. Rick Pitino. Anybody going with Rick Pitino?
I thought about it.
I want to, but I can't.
Yeah, that's what
Heavens,
I
no.
kind of want to, but
I'm happy Rick is back.
Nate Oates is going to outcoach Rick Pitino in this game.
I'm not big on Alabama. I know a lot of people are. I think they're a hoax. I think they're going to be an upset team.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're a hoax.
I don't know.
They
It's hard for me to think about Alabama, like what they're gonna do. It's hard. Jordan, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say Alabama. They've struggled really bad against good teams. They're 1-3 against top 25s. I mean, they had an amazing SEC tournament. Javon Quirley or whatever, Quinley, the Jelly Fam guy. He's great, but the Gales are tough.
I think it's going to be a close game. Honestly, I really do.
It'll be a lot closer, I think. I mean, I have Alabama.
Yeah,
It'll be tight.
At Alabama by 15.
Alrighty. So that fills out the East bracket. We're moving on to the Midwest. Number 1, Big Ten school again, Illinois, taking on 16 Drexel. Anybody giving the Dragons a chance?
No.
not a chance.
No.
All right.
Well,
Easy. Okay. We have to move on, and I needed to save time for this one. We got the big 8-9 matchup. Sammy and what?
Is there even a question? Is there even a question?
Mr. Gene.
We know
Mr. Gene
Sammy
is in
and
attendance.
Chris. Sammy and
Sister
Chris.
Jean is in attendance. She's
There's-
there.
Thank you.
Like, there's not even a thing to say about this, Joe. Like,
Mr. Gene.
if you pick against Loyola, you're leading the viewers wrong because
Exactly.
if they follow our bracket, I can guarantee you Georgia Tech loses this game. I would bet my last dime that Georgia Tech loses this game.
I wouldn't bet my last dime, but I bet definitely bet Sister Gene.
You don't have the confidence in Sammy. You need to have that Sister Jean confidence.
So,
I do have that confidence in the Sister Gene.
so Malik, you're going with Loyola as well?
Yes, I'm going with Loyola.
Jordan, what's your take on this?
I think everyone's under Georgia Tech's tough.
They're good. They're a good team.
Thank you.
I do agree with the magic. The tournament magic is its own thing, but
You're right.
I don't-
Jordan,
I
you're right.
have Loyola Chicago picked, but
Perfect.
Georgia Tech is gonna bring it. They could definitely win it.
They're gonna make it tough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it'll
not.
be a close
that-
game.
Yeah, that point guard matchup, Braden Norris and Alvarado. It's gonna be a really good matchup.
All right.
But I'm not nervous.
Well, I'll help everybody that, is confused about this game, that they don't understand the Loyola Chicago magic. Loyola Chicago is old news. They're not going to make the run again. Georgia Tech. I just have to
What
make
was
my
it? Was
pick.
it-
Oh,
Wait,
man.
Joey, was it 2018 when we first did the show or the
I believe-
special, and we had Loyola go far, and they actually did go
Yeah,
far?
That was that's literally our famous pick that we did. We got Loyola Chicago. We might have had them all the way to the Elite Eight. I
And
don't
then they
think.
went to
Yeah,
the
we did
Final
have the
Four.
Elite Eight.
Yeah, at least I think the Elite Eight. So we did make that pick, but I think that magic is over. I think it's time for somebody else to step in. Georgia Tech has run the gauntlet towards the end of this season, and I think they're dangerous. I'll spoil it right now. I think Georgia Tech could give Illinois some trouble.
Joey, Views from the Sideline is a
I
Loyola
don't think so.
Chicago team. Like, that's our team.
I understand. I'm just helping the
have to
viewers.
laugh.
I'm just helping the viewers to not just look at the Loyola magic. All right. Number 5, Tennessee playing number 12, Oregon State. Oregon State winning the Pac-12 tournament. Looking good going in. Tennessee has been, if this was last year, Tennessee probably would have made a big run. But I just don't believe in Tennessee as much this season. I think I'm going to go with Chris's kind of logic here, and I think Oregon State having the run towards the end of the season is going to do well for them going into this game. So I'm going to take Oregon State. I'll start. Go with Sammy.
I'm gonna take Rocky Top here. I'm gonna take. Rick Barnes done a good job. It's probably one of his best coaching jobs in Tennessee. But I just think that sometimes magic has to run out, and unfortunately, it's on Oregon State. They've had a great run, but I just think normally I pick the 12 over the 5, but this time around, I'm just gonna pick Tennessee over Oregon State.
Malik?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Sammy on that one. I think Oregon State, they're one of the biggest surprises of all of the conference tournament winners because they don't have one single guy that like sticks out. They don't have like one superstar guy. They just have a collection of dudes that play hard, play smart, and don't make like stupid turnovers or bad decisions. But although Tennessee has been weird and up and down and kind of disappointing this season, they're still just so talented that it doesn't take much for them to beat a team like this. And because Oregon State doesn't have that type of talent advantage, I'm going to go Tennessee.
Okay. Jordan?
I got the Beavers in this one just because I think they play up to their competition. They play very well against good teams. You saw their run in the Pac-12, obviously. I just think they got them in this one. Magic stays. Magic stays in March.
All right, Chris, you are the tiebreaker.
This one was tough for me. I've leaned both ways, and I'm not even sure if I'm still set in my pick. Tennessee, I think this has been one of the better coaching jobs at Tennessee, but Oregon State is extremely hot. That big win over Colorado. First Pac-12 championship in school history. I'm going to go Tennessee with some hesitation.
Dang. I was hoping for the Beavers to move on. That's okay. That's how it works. All right. Tennessee moving on. We got number 4, Oklahoma State, fan favorite. Hopeful for the Pistons, I know Chris is, that Cade Cunningham can be a Piston one day. Versus
Cunningham is not going to be a Piston.
One of my favorite upset picks to pick every year, and this year I don't know if I can do it, Liberty Flames. Let's start with Malik on this one.
I think the job that Mike Boynton has done with the Oklahoma State team this year has been underrated. He should be a Coach of the Year candidate because outside of Cade Cunningham, they have some solid talent, but like nothing incredibly high. Honestly, they're like the 4th or 5th most talented team in the Big 12, maybe. And they've just surprised, and they've lived up to every really good team they play up to that competition. Cade Cunningham raises his level, and everybody else raises it too. I think Oklahoma State wins this one going away.
They're kind of a grit and grind type of team, I would say. I tend to lean the same way. I think I'm going to go with Oklahoma State. I think just star power in this one will be the difference. I think just having a guy like Cade Cunningham will be huge. But like I said, I wouldn't necessarily count out Liberty because they're just one of those teams that can get hot from deep and just stay in a game. The last tournament they were in, they made the upset, and I think they were 12 seed or something. So Liberty is one of those teams that's always poised to make an upset. But this one, it might be tough for them. I'm going to stick with Oklahoma State. Sammy.
I'm going to take Cunningham. I like what Cunningham's done over there in Stillwater. I just think that the difference. I just think that his star power. I know a lot of people. A possible clash with Illinois, maybe in the horizon, could be. But it's gonna be a close game. But I just think Oklahoma State behind Cunningham is gonna be too much.
Jordan, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, same thing. I think Cade Cunningham is seriously a once in a generational player. I think he's all of it in a bag of chips, and he's definitely coming to the Pistons with the first
pick. He's not coming to the Pistons.
That's Jordan.
He's not coming to the Pistons. The lottery always screws the Pistons every year.
Thanks, Sammy.
We got this. We got this one.
The big dance for him. I think he shows out. I think Cowboys.
Sammy, it's almost been 20 years since the Pistons' last top pick.
They deserve.
Yeah,
it's almost that time.
History repeats itself.
No. They ain't getting them. It's because of lottery balls. It all depends on the. It's not like the NFL draft, but it's just But
this is how bad.
It's the lottery balls.
Yeah, Chris. I know you're picking Oklahoma State, but I'll let you take your opinion and throw it out there.
How much money do you guys think Oklahoma State paid Cade Cunningham to come there?
Wow!
I just want to know.
His brother is an assistant coach, so it didn't take much.
He still got paid though.
His brother,
he still got paid though.
Oh jeez.
There are no allegations, so we're not gonna talk about that right now.
I was gonna say there's allegations into it. That's why I brought it up. But
all right.
Yeah, I'm rocking with future Piston Cade.
He's not going to be with the Pistons.
Future Piston Cade. He is to me, watching him play, he's like the college basketball version of Devin Booker. He's got a similar stroke. He attacks the double teams very similarly to how Devin Booker does. I see a lot of Booker's game in Cade Cunningham. He's that type of player that can take over a game when you need to. I'm rocking with OK State. You know that, though.
Okay. All right, moving on to the 6 versus 11. This is going to be a fun one. San Diego State. Taking on Syracuse and Buddy Boeheim, along with Jim Boeheim. I'll let Malik start. I know his pick, but we'll let him defend himself. Talk about it.
Yeah, so San Diego State, those Aztecs, I mean, I was high on them last year. They ended the regular season with 1 win, ended up losing to Utah State in the conference tournament. I probably would have picked them to the Final Four, but then the season ended. They came back strong, still a really good team. It will take a lot for Syracuse to beat this team. Like Buddy Boeheim, he has to have like at least 25 to 30 for them to have a really good chance in this one. And I don't know if he can do it again. He's had a lot of hot games in the past 2 weeks. But I don't know. I don't know if Buddy is going to do it in this one. I'm going to take San Diego.
2-3 zone.
All right.
Think about this.
Sammy, take over.
Syracuse doesn't have a deep run every tournament.
2-3 zone. Think about this. You know what? But then again, if they have 3-point shooters or extend free throw line extended, I'm going to take San Diego State. You know what I mean? Even though Syracuse plays the 2-3 zone, and it's an athletic 2-3 zone. So think about it.
All right.
I mean, it's going to be closer than people think. I think San Diego State wins barely.
Okay, I'm going to split it. I'm going with Syracuse and Buddy Boeheim.
Going with the shooter.
Okay, so if nobody's seen Buddy Boeheim play, please look him up, especially Chris and Jordan. Tell me his shot doesn't look exactly like mine. I'm telling you, and I'm not trying to be like.
I've watched it.
I'm not trying to like sit on my high horse or anything, but like his form and everything
similar.
looks very similar to mine.
Very pure.
Okay, Malik, let's not go that far.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. But I will say, like, the zone does mess with teams. Syracuse is sort of a long shot here, but I do like them as an upset. I picked them all those years ago when they upset Michigan State and made a kind of a deep run.
Think about it.
Well, think about it. Because that's what the Syracuse team does. They get under your skin. They make you uncomfortable. And if Buddy Boeheim, he scored over 25 in his tournament games. And he scored 30 in his last one, and they just came up a little bit short. So I'm going to go with Syracuse. I think they're a good upset potential team almost every year. Chris, I think you tie break one of the more recent ones, so I'll let you go next.
What did you say, Sammy? 2-3 zone? More like first round exit. Give me San Diego State.
Oh, man. Jordan, who you got then?
I gotta look. Is Buddy Boeheim? Is he Jim Boeheim? Is he grandson?
Grandson.
I can't remember if he's.
Yeah, he's grandson. I'm like 99% sure.
I think he's grandson. I'm not sure.
Can't remember.
Jim Boeheim,
grandson.
one of my favorite coaches of all time. 1-3-1.
Oh, it's Jim. It's Jim's son.
Oh,
yeah, shoot. That's on me. My bad, coach.
Not bad.
But no, yeah, love his defensive sets. Love the basketball mind. I haven't watched any Syracuse games this year, so I do not know much about them. I have San Diego State, but I would never doubt Syracuse in it. But I have San Diego State.
Okay.
That should be a fun game.
Fair enough. Yeah, agreed. At the very least. Number 3, West Virginia taking on 14, Morehead State. Anybody have Morehead State in this one?
Huggy Bear, man. You got to go.
Huggy Bear.
You got to trust Huggy Bear.
You know, I've picked West Virginia. West Virginia's been one of my teams for a long time that I always pick deep in a tournament, and they always fail me. So it's hard for me to pick them to go deep. But in this game,
they do it when you least expect it.
But in this game, for sure, West Virginia's going forward.
Yeah.
Okay, another fun 7-10 matchup. We got Clemson taking on Big Ten Rutgers. Let's hear Jordan's take.
No, you already know I'm super high on the Big Ten.
Big Ten.
Yeah, we already know what Jordan is thinking.
I know what you're gonna say.
That's why I had to hold it for suspense.
But I got Scarlet Knights all day.
All right.
They're
Chris,
underrated team in the Big Ten.
Chris,
You said, what was that? What is that, Jordan? What did you say?
They're an underrated team in the Big Ten.
Oh, gotcha.
Chris, hater of the Big Ten. Who you got in this one?
Give me the Clemson Tigers. They have one of the best defenses in the country.
Oh my goodness.
I think it's a bad matchup for Rutgers. Give me Clemson, double digits.
This one's tough for me. Clemson's a really, really weird team, and just looking at their stats, they beat Alabama by 8. Alabama, we said, is a good team, but then they lost to Virginia by 35. Like what?
Clemson.
Not there.
Like
Yeah.
okay, and they beat Purdue by 11, which is great. So they're just a wishy-washy team. Rutgers, I struggle to pick Rutgers because they're kind of in the same boat where like they're competitive in a lot of games. The reason they're kind of here is they beat Illinois, which is crazy to think about now. I'm gonna ride the Big Ten on this one. I'm gonna go with Rutgers, but I could see it going either way. Malik, who you got?
Yeah, Rutgers came into the season as a top 25 team, and they played like it in the first week and a half. They were I think they almost beat Iowa. They were in it the whole game. They looked really strong, and then they had a few injuries, and guys were coming in and out of the lineup, and they couldn't get back into a flow for a lot of the season. Then the last 2 weeks, they started getting back into a little bit of a rhythm. They played okay in the Big Ten tournament, but I still think they have some of that strong team left in them from early in the season, some of that top 25 toughness. So yeah, I'm taking Rutgers.
Sam?
You know what? Give me the State University of New Jersey here. I'm gonna go with Rutgers here. I just think that they as Malik said, Rutgers did start off hot, then they kind of struggle a little bit, then they picked it right back up. I just think for Clemson, they're a weird team to figure out. I mean, I just think the bottom line here is I just think Rutgers has been more battle tested. The Big Ten's been more battle tested this year in the ACC. So I'm gonna take Rutgers here and move on against over Clemson.
Okay. And now we have the 2 seed Houston playing the 15 Cleveland State. Anybody taking Cleveland State besides Jordan?
This is the team that beat my guys, Cleveland
That's
State.
true, yeah.
Hey, I would go you too.
I kind of want to lean Cleveland State.
You want to take the big upset? Do it, Chris. Do it. Take the big one.
I'll rep Cleveland today. Give me Cleveland.
Hey.
Oh man.
There we go.
Okay. I'm taking Houston, no doubt.
This game had me really, really mindful, but I haven't really seen Houston play. But I'm gonna take Houston, highest seed right now. But then again, you can't underestimate a 15 over a 2. I mean, it's happened before. I know it happened to me painfully.
Malik, what's your opinion on Quentin Grimes?
Quentin Grimes is really good. He's really good. He's at a level now, he's so comfortable. Whether it's from 3 or off the dribble or coming off a screen, whenever he gets the ball, he's ready to shoot. And he's confident. He's a really good player. And Dejan Giroux is an underrated point guard in this tournament too. They have the guard play. They have 4 or 5 guards that can come in and play at a high level. Yeah, so I'm taking Houston, mostly because of Quentin Grimes, but also because they're just a really good team.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay, so we're moving on to the second round. I am going to now share my screen just so we can see what's going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now I can see it.
Okay, cool. Alrighty. So we have for the round of 32, Gonzaga playing Missouri. Anybody going with Mizzou to make
No.
the upset?
No.
No,
Is the number
Bag.
1 seed falling?
No.
no.
Bags.
Okay. Fair enough. Gonzaga, moving on. I think Missouri could make it interesting, but I also don't think they're gonna
Too much depth.
lose.
Yeah.
All right, here's a really fun one. We got the number 12 UCSB versus 13 Ohio. Let's start with Sammy.
You know what? When we were doing the show, I've been thinking about this matchup, UCB versus Ohio. I just think I like Ohio this year. I just like what they have. I just think they got enough depth, enough experience. So give me the Bobcats at Sweet 16.
Okay. Malik, where are you going on this?
I agree 100%. In my own bracket, I have Ohio upsetting Creighton to go to the Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
So I fully believe in them making that run, getting to the Sweet 16.
All right. So then we're gonna do it. We're doing a clean sweep of Ohio then, right? Chris, you're going with Ohio.
I'm going Ohio.
Jordan's on the Mac attack. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, in my actual bracket as well, Malik, I also have Ohio going to the Sweet 16. As much as I like the Gauchos, I think Ohio is better made for a deeper run.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a fun team to watch. Okay, 6 seed USC going up against the 3 seed Kansas. Let's start with Jordan on this one.
I'm going with Blue Bloods. They got to show out for them, so I'm definitely going with Kansas. Like I said, I haven't watched too much Pac-12. It's a little hard to watch out here in Michigan, but so I don't know too much about USC. I only have seen highlights of Mobley, but definitely going with Kansas.
Okay. I'm going to go with Kansas as well. Big Jayhawks fan, always have been. I think they could still make some noise, even though they've struggled a little bit towards the end. They're still a really strong team. So I think they could do something. They might even, they might have something for Iowa. So I'm going with Kansas. Sammy, who you got?
I'm gonna take Kansas. I just think that too much talent, Bill Self. You know what I mean? I just like KU in this matchup.
Okay, Kansas is moving on. But Chris, I saw you shaking your head. What's up with that?
Give me USC. Evan Mobley, that front court. I'm not big on these Blue Bloods this year. I think they're not going to make a deep run. I would take USC over Kansas in this one.
Chris is always big on the NBA guys. Evan Mobley, an NBA guy.
Number 2 prospect.
Makes sense. Malik, what did you think about this matchup?
I'm pretty sure Kansas started Mitch Lightfoot in the Big 12 tournament. I think David McCormick, either he had COVID or he was hurt. I can't remember which one.
COVID.
They're still starting Mitch Lightfoot. The Mobley brothers are going to eat down low. It'll be a long day for them down there. And both of them are good enough passers to hit wide open guys on the outside and people making cuts to the basket. I'm going USC with the surprise win.
Okay. Well, Kansas moves on for our bracket, but Chris and Malik going with USC. Okay. As it sounded like earlier, we got Oregon going against Iowa. It sounds like a couple people maybe thinking that Oregon could pull the upset. Anybody going with Oregon?
Yep, I'm going with Oregon.
I'm going Oregon. Yeah.
I'm going Oregon.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about this then, because I'm really curious to see what everybody's take is. Sammy, start us off. Talk about Oregon.
You know what? I was thinking about what Oregon did besides that game against Oregon State. They've been playing good basketball. I just don't trust Garza in this matchup against and you said about Garza usually plays well against inferior competition, whereas against good competition he struggles, and Oregon's a pretty good basketball team. So that's where I'm leaning here. I think Oregon playing without the lose up against Iowa. I just think that I just don't trust Iowa at times. Give me the Ducks. Give me the Ducks.
Chris?
Yeah, I don't trust Luka Garza. I think against stronger opponents, we've seen him struggle. And what keeps Iowa going? Luka Garza, Player of the Year. So give me Oregon. I just think the basic fact of they're extremely hot, winning 11 of 12. They have a solid front court, solid interior defense, a good enough defensive scheme to keep Luka Garza in check, which will keep Iowa in check. Ducks moving on.
Malik, what's your take on Oregon?
I really think Chris Duarte is just going to show out in this tournament. I think he's so experienced and so not afraid of the moment. He's a knockdown shooter. He's not afraid to take it to the basket either. And then overall, like the athleticism of Oregon, I think they have big guys to throw on Luka Garza. Like they have plenty of guys that could foul out if they have to, but they also have guys that are really good defenders. I think Oregon, they just have the upper hand in the matchup.
Jordan, defend the Big Ten.
Good things come to those who wait. Luka Garza has been having a Cinderella season. Yes, he's had rough games here and there, but he is no doubt by far the best player in the country. Easily the best player in the country.
Oh boy.
By far.
Easily.
Well, most dominant college bet. He reminds me Christian Laettner. A lot slower.
No.
Okay.
Oh,
But great post. Big fella will do great in the tournament. The team shoots threes, live or die by the three. It's a big tournament. Iowa's got it by far.
Yep. I'm going with Iowa as well. I do have an upset. I always like to make one fun upset bracket, and I do have Oregon moving on in that one. But I think, like, realistically, I think Iowa is the better team here. I think Luka Garza, Bohannon, Wieskamp, like, they got 3-point shooters to surround a big man that's dominant. I think he's going to be ready for the tournament. I think, he's played against tougher competition. I don't think Oregon's the toughest of competition that he's faced. So I think he'll be completely ready for that. And I got Iowa. But you guys picked Oregon, so we got that in our bracket. Moving over to the other side, we got Baylor, number 1 seed, playing the number 9 Wisconsin that we had moving forward. Is anybody going with Wisconsin to take out one of the first 1 seeds?
Jordan, you're not going with Wisconsin. Please tell me you're not.
I want them to, but I good.
Don't do it.
Baylor,
right.
man.
All right,
do it.
we're just extending Baylor. If North Carolina was here, I would have made an argument for it. But since they're not, Baylor, I think, pretty easy. Okay, the number is 5, Villanova versus the 4, Purdue.
That's tough.
Purdue's gonna win this. They're gonna tear them to shreds.
Who's
Okay,
gonna tear him to shreds?
Purdue.
Yeah, I'll lean towards Purdue. as
Purdue,
well.
they got a great draw, honestly.
okay,
Yeah.
Those
so we're
first 2 matchups, they got a really good draw.
Yeah, I'm
All
going
right.
Purdue.
sounds pretty easy. I think this is where Villanova struggles without having their starting point guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Purdue is more of an equal matchup.
Mhm.
And Travion Williams is a monster.
That
So
is.
I agree. I'm going with Purdue. Okay, Texas Tech and Arkansas. I feel like you guys are gonna all go Texas Tech. I'm gonna make the case for Arkansas. I think Arkansas could be a dark horse, and I don't necessarily know why. It's one of those like Joey type picks where I don't have a ton of reasoning behind it, but it's just a feeling that I have. I feel like Arkansas could just like get hot and just run away with this game because it feels like at times Texas Tech struggles on offense a little bit. But I do think
But they
Texas.
defend.
Yeah, they do. So I think they can definitely slow people down. So that's definitely a possibility. I just think Arkansas might come out on top on this one.
I'm gonna take Tech.
Okay,
They
Chris?
can defend.
Chris.
I'm thinking Texas Tech. I mean, between Mac McClung and Santos Silva, I don't trust Arkansas.
Malik, you going with Tech then too?
Yep.
Jordan, I know you're a McClung fan. Going with
Yeah.
Tech? Okay.
As long as you get too complacent, they'll be good.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. The number 10 Virginia Tech versus number 2 Ohio State. For me, this is another one that's really tough
This is a tough one.
because Ohio State's really good. They're Big Ten school, but they have been one of those teams that all of a sudden falters in weird spots. And Virginia Tech's a team that can take advantage of those kind of things.
This one isn't tough for me.
Okay, Malik, what you got then? Ohio State?
This tournament is built for guys like Dwayne Washington.
Okay.
Like those Kimball Walker, Shabazz Napier, those types of guards that just put teams on their back and are unstoppable. Like these past 2 weeks, he has surpassed anything that I thought he was. He's just on another level than any guard he goes against. Like taking it to the lane, automatic from 3, hand in his face. Like as soon as he gets going, there's nothing you can do. And
What
then
year is he?
He's a junior, I believe. Yeah, and then CJ Walker is one of the toughest point guards in the country. CJ Liddell is really unstoppable against most matchups. I'm going Ohio State.
Okay. Sammy, I know you're going Ohio State. I think you're making some hand gestures over there.
Yep.
Oh, wait.
OAA.
Jordan, you going Big Ten in this one?
Yeah, I think going to be real big physical game. Ohio State wins, though.
All right, Chris, you going with Ohio State? You're in Ohio.
I am going with Ohio State.
Okay. This is one that I'm scared of, to be honest. I'm gonna go with Ohio State, and I mean we've already made the Ohio State pick, but I am scared of Virginia Tech doing some crazy things,
Yeah.
especially in this bracket. It's all over the place. All right, moving back down to the lower part of the bracket. We are in the East region. Michigan and LSU. Sammy, I know you're chomping at the bit to talk about this one.
LSU. Michigan doesn't have Isaiah Livers. He's done. So you look at this game here. LSU's got athletes. They could beat Michigan. I've heard a lot of experts saying to me that LSU can knock off Michigan.
All righty. We'll see.
And I got LSU beating Michigan.
Let's hear the other side of the argument, Malik.
Yeah, I think LSU, they do have a chance to do it. They got length. They got a lot of talent. But I still don't think they're as good of a team as Michigan. They showed in 2 games without Livers, they still can figure it out. They have just as much length, if we're being honest. I mean, Hunter Dickinson down low, he's a problem for most teams. Franz Wagner is 6'9", long. Shawnee Brown is a dog. I think he'll do a great job playing defense against Cam Thomas for LSU, who's one of the top freshman scorers in the country. It'll be a close one, and it'll be a struggle for Michigan, but I think they pull it out in the end.
Chris, where are you going on this one?
Michigan, I think they have enough to get past either LSU or St. Bonaventure, whoever comes out of that matchup. Yeah, Livers is a big blow, but not big enough for them to lose in the round of 32.
Mike Smith is the X factor too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jordan, you sticking with Big Ten?
Yeah, I'm going with Michigan. I think Mike Smith has enough experience as long as he doesn't play hero ball for himself.
Yeah,
I think he's got it, no problem. They're going to rely a lot though on Hunter Dickinson. They're going to put a lot of pressure on the freshman. But yeah. I think he's a baller. I think he's a stud. I think they're fine. Michigan wins.
Yeah, this game makes me nervous. LSU can score just like a lot of these other SEC teams, but Michigan plays good defense in practice. So even without Livers, I think they're still going to be good defensively. The scary part is Hunter Dickinson getting that much pressure, because at times we've seen him kind of like not be as dominant as he was early on in the season. I'm a little bit nervous about that, but I do think that Michigan should be able to pull through and win this game.
Also, that having Eli Brooks back is huge.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
He might be one of the biggest reasons they win this game.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next one. Georgetown, does their Cinderella story continue, or does Florida State stop it? Let's start.
Too much depth, too much scoring. Give me the nose.
Okay, alrighty. Is anybody going with Georgetown then in this one?
I think the Magic ends.
Would have been Colorado. I would have went with Colorado.
Okay.
But
Florida
Scotty
State
gonna go off.
Yeah. All right, we'll go Florida State then. Oh boy, here we are again.
Yep.
Sammy, what do you got?
I got Michigan State going to Sweet 16.
Oh my God.
Knocking off Texas. So think about it.
He does see.
Don't get it on hook and horn thing.
He's laughing.
Michigan State.
He doesn't even believe what he's saying.
Aaron Henry, difference maker. I just think at the end of the day, I just think that Michigan State, this is their time to shine in March.
You know what, Sammy? You're right. Aaron Henry is the difference maker. The difference maker from making it a 20-point deficit to an 18-point deficit. So give me Texas in a route.
Oh, man. Jordan, who you got? You're a Big Ten guy, but can you stick with Michigan State in this one?
I would only stick with Michigan State if Foster Lawyer was playing in the game.
Foster Lawyer's not that good.
Oh, boy.
No, I have to go Texas. I can't see it. I love the Sparties. Aaron Henry's a great player. Rocket Watts, though, too inconsistent. It won't happen.
Texas has really good guard play, and it's going to be a big test for Rocket. I think he can come up to the test, but I just think Texas is they're just a little bit better. Malik, I want
to get out there and play good defense on Rocket.
Yeah. All right, Malik, let's hear your take. I know you're have a Rocket bias, but not a state bias.
I think Aaron Henry has to average like well over 20 for them to make a run to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, Josh Langford too.
Aaron, what is just? Come on, Sammy. Langford has been such a disappointment.
If you need a game winner or something, Langford's there. But I
in
think
the last minute, if it's close, he'll hit one. But if you need him like all throughout a game, he hasn't shown it. Aaron Henry, I believe in him. He's been unconscious these past few weeks. He's a pro first round pick, but he has to average over 20. Izzo has to allow Rocket to do what he has to do. Don't bench him. Don't take his mind out of the game. I don't know how it all comes together. I don't know how it all comes together for a run. Texas is so strong, from the guards to the length to the big men. It's Texas.
Yep, I agree. All right, Texas, moving on. Maryland and Alabama. Is anybody sticking with the Big Ten in this one? Alabama, one of the favorites to kind of go to the Final Four.
Oh,
I think Bama might run them out the gym.
Okay, yeah.
If it was UConn, I'd pick UConn over Bama. I'll go with Maryland just because I don't trust Alabama. So I think whoever wins that UConn Maryland game is gonna face Texas.
Okay.
Bama's really good, Chris. They're really good.
I know they're really good. There's Malik. There's a lot of really good teams that don't make it far in the tournament.
True.
I agree with Chris. I'm afraid of Alabama because they could make a deep run, but they could also falter pretty easily. They're a question mark for me too, but I don't think in this game necessarily.
Won't underestimate Nate Oates at all.
All right, boys, you see it. Are you gonna do it? Is Loyola Chicago knocking off the first #1 seed?
I'm not even that crazy.
Yeah, me neither. Give me Illinois.
Yeah, I'm not. No.
Listen,
All right.
I'm going to cheer for Cam Crutwig so hard against Kofi Coburn.
That'll be a cool matchup to see.
But Illinois, man. Illinois is they're way too strong right now.
Yeah.
See a Big Ten big man versus Crutwig. See where he stands. I'm curious to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gotta go Illinois. I've told you before. I think if Georgia Tech makes it though, they could be on some magic. So I'd be scared of Georgia Tech if I was Illinois. But moving on, number 5, Tennessee playing Oklahoma State. Does the NBA power put Oklahoma State over Tennessee?
Yes. Oklahoma State beats Tennessee.
Chris, you sticking with Cade?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Cade. I'm gonna stick with him.
Okay. Malik?
Oklahoma State's just playing really good basketball right now. I mean,
it's not just Cade right now. They are playing good basketball.
That's why when Cade starts going off, it makes them even better.
Yeah.
But even like they beat West Virginia 2 weeks ago without Cade. Like that's how strong of a team they are right now, and I trust them in this matchup against a on and off Tennessee team.
I feel like that's the one bad observation for like casual fans is they see Oklahoma State, they see Cade Cunningham, and it's like, oh, it's just a Cade-led team. No, the surrounding factors on that team are still solid. They have it's not a Kobe Bryant and Smush Parker situation, you know.
Yeah, I just think that Cade elevates his team. I think that's part of it.
That's true.
Jordan, you're going with Oklahoma State too?
Oh yeah, he's the LeBron James of college basketball right now. He literally everyone on that team is much better that he's there.
So if Luka Garza is the best player in the country, he's the Michael Jordan?
Oh, Luka Garza is just more. Oh, he's 4 years older, man.
I know. I'm just saying.
Luka Garza is gonna need a wheelchair here soon.
Causing controversy.
Hey,
all right.
Not the #1 NBA going to be the best player out of this draft. Luka Garza is the best college basketball player, though.
Okay, that makes sense. I get it. All right, San Diego State, West Virginia. Malik, you sticking with the Aztecs, or you going with Huggins?
I want to go with my boys, but I trust Huggins too much. I trust him in this situation, and I trust his player.
What's your opinion on Jordan McCabe?
I thought he'd be better than he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Big 12 competition. Honestly, he was better his freshman year, and he's regressed ever since. It's weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, even that he doesn't play a lot, he only plays like 5-6 minutes a game at the most, but they don't need him that much.
I mean, he was a flashy name when he went to West Virginia. It's just
Yeah.
interesting how everything's played out.
Yep. Does anybody have the Aztecs in
I
this
do.
game?
I do.
I do. I think San Diego.
Okay,
State's gonna go far.
okay. Cool. Sammy, what's your take on the Aztecs?
I just think that I don't trust Huggy Bear in this situation. It's just, San Diego State, they got enough offense. They got, like their defense has been pretty good. They're
Defense was
2-0 against
really
top
good.
25 teams. But they've averaged, so when you look at it here, I think defensively, they're very sound defensively against a very good West Virginia team.
This was last year's San Diego State team. I would have took them.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Chris, what's your take on the Aztecs?
I think they're just a good tournament team. I love their defense. Opponents are averaging almost just 60 points per game against them. West Virginia is definitely a solid team. You could go either way. I'm going to lean towards San Diego State, though.
Yeah, this will be interesting because this is going to be a really defensive game. West Virginia also known for their defense. Jordan, who are you going with in this game?
I think if this matchup actually does happen, it could be one of the best games in the tournament.
Yeah,
But
it's possible.
I have West Virginia. I know my man Pat McAfee will have a lot of money riding on West Virginia all the way through. So I got to go with West Virginia. I'm a big Jordan McCabe fan. He's the only reason he doesn't play very much. He didn't get any better. He's too focused on podcasting and that garbage.
Whoa. Podcasts are not garbage. Careful.
That party life in Morgantown, it gets to
Careful, I have one.
Morgantown, man.
But no, I like Bob Huggins in this situation.
I said that Bob Huggins, he'll usually I usually pick him and he usually disappoints me. But I'm still picking him anyway. I'm going with West Virginia. I think they're the better team right now. It will be a defensive matchup. I can see it going either way. But I just think West Virginia's a little bit better in this matchup. Okay. We got another 10 versus 2, including the Big Ten. Rutgers and Houston. Is anybody sticking with Rutgers in this game?
I don't know if I trust Houston.
Jordan is? Okay. So let's talk it out.
I don't trust Houston at all. I have them losing.
I think they're frauds.
Oof. Harsh words.
I don't think Rutgers has enough firepower, and I don't know if they can hold defensively. Houston has a good amount of firepower at all their guard positions.
Yeah.
But like past Ron Harper Jr. is really good for Rutgers. Their point guard Mulcahy isn't like really great on offense. Like they have a few guys that get them points, and then they just have to like play great defense and play good basketball around that. I don't know if that's good enough against Houston.
Just remember. Go ahead, Chris.
In this matchup, I think I would lean Houston, but I think Clemson versus Houston would be a recipe for disaster. Clemson's defense is just too premier for Houston. I just don't trust them.
I think this is a close game. I just think Houston barely moves on.
Yeah, I think Houston's the better team. I think Rutgers, like Malik said, is a little too not enough talent on that team. And you got to remember, Houston, the last time people doubted them, they made it all the way to Michigan and probably should have beat Michigan, but they had a miracle and ended up losing that game. So Houston's a team that you don't really want to underrate too much, and they got Quentin Grimes. I'm going with Houston. Okay.
I don't like our bracket so far right down there. That's too much chalk. Too much chalk.
Come on, man. This is where it starts to even itself out. The upsets start to disappear. But we got Ohio up here. Sweet 16, here we go. Gonzaga taking on Ohio. Does Ohio pull off the miracle and beat Gonzaga?
Sorry, Ohio.
Yeah, no, this is the run ends here.
Jordan, you sticking with the Mac attack?
I'm usually a very Gonzaga hater. I usually think they're usually the most overrated team in the tournament, but this year I think they're legit. I can't see Ohio doing that. Not enough.
Yeah, I agree. I think this Ohio's run ends here, and honestly, I think it won't even be close in this one. Ohio makes it there, fortunately. Okay, number 3, Kansas taking on Oregon. Sounds like a lot of people think Oregon could make this run.
Yeah, give me the Ducks.
I'm going Oregon too.
Oh
Got
man,
Ducks.
Give me the
Okay.
Hawk.
We're going with Ducks. I'm taking the Jayhawks in this one. Again, I think Oregon. I think they are poised to be one of the dark horse teams. But I think Kansas they'll figure it out. They've been there before. It's just a program that knows how to make tournament runs, and they looked really good at points of the season. They have been iffy, but I think they get it back in the tournament, especially if they make it past USC at this point. I think they would be comfortable enough at this point in the tournament that they'd be able to take on Oregon. Jordan, you said you're going Jayhawks as well?
I said Hawkeyes, but yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I would have the Hawkeyes here too, but going Kansas in this scenario.
Yeah, I would take Kansas over Oregon.
Okay, Malik, what's your take on the Ducks?
I just think, first of all, the odds of a 5, 6, or 7 seed making the Elite Eight is high. It usually happens. Even like an 8 or 9 seed could get in there. But like I said, I just think they haven't had a chance to really hit that level that they're really at until like recently. They're just now hitting it. And a few years ago, I doubted Oregon and was talking bad about Peyton Pritchard.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you were.
Yes, you did.
And then the next season he turned it up on me and embarrassed me.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I doubt Oregon, they prove me wrong.
I guess you can't underestimate Donald Duck.
I would say, usually I don't like Pac-12 teams, but for some reason, Oregon is that one team that always seems to kind of be around for the Pac-12. So, yeah, I could see them doing it, but I don't think it's this year. Okay, moving on to the other side of the bracket, we got Baylor playing Purdue. This one, for me...
This is a great matchup.
Yeah, this one's actually tough. I think this is where Baylor is going to make it or break it. I think this is where Baylor either decides they're going to make it to the championship game or they're going to lose right here. Because this will be the big swing game for them, give them momentum moving in. But again, Trevion Williams is a monster, and he's something to handle. So if they can handle him, I think Baylor will win. I'm going to go with Baylor, but I want to say Purdue. But I'm going to say Baylor.
I'm going with Baylor by a tiny bit.
Yeah, Baylor in a
I
crazy.
have Baylor in my bracket, but it wouldn't surprise me if Purdue upsets Baylor.
Yeah, they got Jonathan Chama. They can throw him at Trey Williams. He's even bigger than Trey Williams, so he won't have a hard time staying on him. And those veteran guards Baylor has, I trust them so much. I trust them.
Jordan, who are you backing in this game?
I honestly really think it's going to be really hard for Baylor, especially having to go play against 2 Big Ten teams back to back. Big Ten teams like to slow it down, like to play physical, like to run through their sets. I don't know if Baylor can be that patient. I mean, Baylor's good. They have a much better team, I think, overall. But I think Purdue will give them – they'll be tired for sure.
Okay. All righty. We got number 6, Texas Tech, taking on Ohio State. Does the Big Ten come through on this one?
Yes.
No.
I got Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Okay.
Tech.
State.
So Chris, why you got Texas Tech then?
Mac McClung and Silva, I really think they're hitting a stride right now. March is made for madness. Really, that's my reasoning.
Okay. I have Ohio State because I have Texas Tech losing in the first round. So Ohio State it is.
I got Ohio State.
I just think Ohio State's they're getting ready at the right time. Even though they faltered in the Big Ten tournament, they were close.
Plus,
And-
Chris Holtman's a good coach.
And they looked really good, so I think Ohio State's poised to do something. Alrighty, here we go. Getting real. We got nothing but 1 through 4 seeds down here.
You.
Michigan taking Florida State. This one
Seminoles.
one is tough. This one is tough without Livers.
Yep.
Let's
This
hear.
one's tough without Livers. Florida State, too much for Michigan.
Yeah, I agree with Sammy.
Jordan, what is your take on this?
Franz Wagner has to go for 20 through the tournament almost every.
Yeah. I agree, 100%.
But I'm not counting Michigan out completely. I just think they're not deep enough, especially with Livers missing now. They're not deep enough to hang for that long.
Yeah. Malik, you giving up on your Wolverines?
End of the line for my guys. End of the line.
Yeah, I think so too. I do think there's a way that Michigan does it, but it is very tough. Dickinson and, like Jordan said, Franz Wagner have to have really good tournaments. I don't know if it's going to work out that way. I'm going with Florida State, but this is where Michigan becomes a bracket buster. I talked to Sammy and Chris before everybody got in here. I think Michigan could be a bracket buster for two reasons. They could either lose here to LSU and be out early, just like a lot of people think. Or they could get all the way to the Final Four and bust people's brackets because people thought they were going to lose. So I could see it either way. I think Michigan's a really tough team to gauge. But I do think most likely this is where they falter. And I think Florida State's just, they're too good. They're too deep. I think they win this game. All right. Number 3, Texas taking on Alabama, Big 12 SEC matchup. I'm going with Texas. I think Texas is Final Four ready. Malik kind of alluded to it earlier that they have the makeup to be a Final Four team. I think they're a team that people overlook and haven't paid enough attention to. I'm going with Texas in this one.
I agree with you, Joey. Give me Texas.
I got
Sammy?
Alabama.
Okay. Alabama.
I got the Longhorns.
Okay. Jordan?
I'm going as well. Coaching, Shaq Smart. Big
You
You
said-
want any notes?
You said Texas?
Come on.
All right. So
Big-
Alabama is falling. We're going with Texas. Sorry, Sammy. That's just the way it
There
goes.
goes my final. There goes the Final Four team.
Well, we'll make it noted. So if Alabama makes it to the Final Four, we'll say Sammy was right and we were wrong.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. Illinois, Oklahoma State. Does Cade magic continue, or
No.
does Io DeSumo, Kobe Coburn knock him down?
Kobe Coburn knocks him down.
I am actually going to take the surprise Oklahoma State win.
I'm
Ooh,
taking. Oh, really? I'm taking Illinois.
we got
taking
two
Illinois.
Illinois.
I think Cade kicks it into a whole another gear in this one.
I also think there's a chance that Oklahoma State could do it. Like I said, I think Georgia Tech could possibly knock Illinois off. I think Oklahoma State has a chance. I think Illinois could win the whole thing, even though I'm saying that they could lose. But that's just kind of how this tournament goes. And if Oklahoma State has made it this far, theoretically, I think Cade is playing at an all-time high. I'm going to go with Oklahoma State. I'm going to let Jordan be the tiebreaker.
Yeah, see, I'm torn on this one too because I have two different brackets with two different options
Outcomes.
going with them. But
Yep.
same thing, yeah. If Oklahoma State makes it this far, Cade Cunningham is firing on all cylinders. But Illinois, I think when they're playing their best basketball, they are the best team in the country.
All right, going
So,
Illinois. Okay. West Virginia and Houston.
See, I would have taken the Aztecs in this matchup.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't
Everybody,
trust. Give me West Virginia just because I don't trust either of those teams. But I'll take Huggins over Houston.
anybody have the argument for Houston?
Virginia.
You know what? West Virginia seems to collapse in games. You know, so when I look at this here, even though I do got I got Huggy Bear moving on here. I got Huggy Bear moving on. Houston, they don't score a lot. They defend. So when I look at this matchup here, I just think West Virginia, you know, they're dangerous in the glass. I mean, like, so I just think I like West Virginia here. I don't know if the Conference Houston that they get through Conference USA, is going to test Houston better enough. So I just think that West Virginia is going to just roll by West Virginia's going to roll by Houston.
Yep. I'm highlighting these games for a reason right here. They played Kansas, lost by 5 to Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2
They lost
seed
by 5 to
overall in the
Gonzaga.
tournament. Lost by 5 to Gonzaga, number 1 seed in the tournament. They beat your guys' team, Texas Tech, twice. They split against Texas. They lost twice against Oklahoma State, but got a win. They played crazy competition and done pretty well, losing in close margins. I think West Virginia, they're just going to outplay Houston just because they've played tougher competition. Alrighty. So we are to the Elite Eight.
You didn't
Gonzaga.
click on West Virginia?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, okay, there it is.
It's the way the bracket looks. So, back to the top. Gonzaga and Oregon. Are you guys riding with that Duck magic still?
Yeah,
Or
give
does
me
it-
the Ducks.
To
Give me the Ducks. The Zags aren't going to have a perfect season.
Chris has got the
We've-
Ducks.
What Sammy said at pre-show, like perfect season hasn't happened since Indiana in '76, and that was almost 50 years ago.
Taking Gonzaga.
Gonzaga.
Give me the
Jordan?
Ducks.
Jordan?
Go Zags.
Yep. I got Gonzaga too. Chris, I agree with you. I don't think they're going to make the perfect run, but they're going to make a run.
Now, if we would have had Iowa up there,
Oh my God!
But Baylor, though, but they've already played. Jordan, they've already played.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Gonzaga beat them.
All right. Moving over to the other side, we got Baylor and Ohio State. We were all kind of iffy on Baylor against Purdue, so I assume we're still iffy on them against Ohio State. Can they pull through, or is Ohio State going to make the Final Four?
You know,
Sammy?
every time I think about this game, and I haven't been really confident with Baylor all year long. They didn't make the Big 12 championship game, but Ohio State did. You know what? I'm gonna be a Big 10 guy here. I'm gonna take the Buckeyes to knock off the Bears.
Okay. Chris, you're an Ohio guy.
If in my personal bracket, I have Texas Tech in the Final Four.
Wow. I'll see your bracket at the bottom.
Well, we're gonna find out. I'll go Ohio State in this one. Yeah, 3 straight Big Ten opponents. I don't see Baylor getting past 3 straight Big Ten opponents.
Okay.
I think the Wisconsin game will be maybe a low double-digit win. Purdue game will be single digits, and then Ohio State will just do the finishing touches.
Malik?
This one is tough for me. It's so tough.
Yep.
I've watched Baylor so much, and they've got 1 through 3. They've got guys that can knock down threes and hit big shots. They got guys off the bench that can do the same. But Ohio State, oh man,
It kills you, doesn't it?
this is tough.
It
All right,
kills
Jordan, where are you going? We'll let Malik think it over real quick.
I think it's all on how if you think Baylor's legit or not, because I think Baylor has the hardest way to the Final Four out of anyone in the tournament. And I like Chris said, just playing so many Big Ten teams in a row, I don't think they can do it. I think Ohio State wins.
Okay, well, Ohio State moves on for our bracket then. I'm going to pick Baylor. I actually have them winning the national championship in one of my brackets. I think Baylor people are kind of forgetting about, and yeah, they did falter in the Big 12 tournament. But I'm actually almost thinking the opposite. They've played, at this point, 2 other Big 10 teams. They know what to expect going in. I know Ohio State is a different breed. They're in the higher echelon of the Big 10. But I think Baylor would be prepared for it at that point. So I think they would make the win. Malik, did you make up your decision?
I still haven't, but
Oh my God!
All right. Well, Ohio State's moving on. Malik's going to be contemplating that for a while. All right. I think this is going to be a really good game. Florida State and Texas. I'm still going with Texas. Like I said, I think they're my Final Four team that people are kind of not thinking about, forgetting about. Florida State is very good, and they always seem to make tournament runs as well. So I could see them winning, but I'm riding with the Longhorns.
Leonard Hamilton's a great coach, you know, and I like what the Seminoles have done all season long. You know, Texas, I've got some questions with Texas. I mean, like, you know, when you look at them, so I'm gonna take Florida State, you know, in this game.
Jordan, I'll go to you.
I have Texas in this game.
Okay.
I'm riding high with them.
Yeah, me too. Malik?
Leonard Hamilton is a better and more experienced coach than Shaka Smart. But I feel like, I feel like Texas has the guards to put it out of reach in the last few minutes and to close the game out. Florida State has a bunch of big, longer guys that are really skilled, but I don't know if they have that player that's going to like take over in the last few minutes.
Yep.
And Texas has a few of those guys. I'm going Texas.
Yep. All right. Last game of the Elite Eight. We got Illinois and West Virginia. Does anybody take West Virginia in this game?
I'm going
No,
to Illinois.
ILLINI.
Yep. In this scenario, I think if Illinois has gotten past Oklahoma State, I think that would be their toughest competition in this side of the bracket. I think I have to go with Illinois. And at this point, Illinois could just run away with the tournament if they didn't have an early round exit. I think that's where Illinois is most vulnerable. But once they get into a rhythm, I think they're going to be really scary. I'm going with Illinois. Okay, we've made our Final Four. Besides Ohio State, if this was Baylor, this is my Final Four in my bracket. My legit bracket.
I think that's my Final Four too, except instead of Ohio State, I'd have Texas Tech. I think.
Actually, I have let me see my Final Four. My Final Four is let's see, I got Ohio State, Illinois, and then I have Gonzaga and Alabama. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I got Gonzaga, Texas, Texas Tech, and Illinois.
That's mine, except I have Iowa in it.
All right. So Gonzaga and Texas. Does anybody have Texas going and taking out Gonzaga? Because I do. This is where I think Gonzaga is going to lose. Gonzaga always comes up a little bit short, unfortunately, and I'm going with Texas in this one. I think they're just
I'm going Gonzaga.
something could happen, and I think Texas has some random magic going on.
I got Gonzaga.
Okay.
All right, so that's 2-1.
Texas to Gonzaga.
Malik?
I said I got Gonzaga.
Oh, you
So
do?
that's 2-2.
Oh, so Jordan's the tiebreaker.
Well, if it's not Iowa, he'll have Gonzaga going. I think Gonzaga.
All right, Gonzaga moving on to the national championship. But which Big Ten team will they play? Let's start with our Ohio guy himself, Chris.
Illinois.
You got Illinois.
Unfinished business.
Okay.
Listen, that's last time they played, which was a week ago. Well, not even a week ago, a few days ago. Dwayne Washington scored 32 and they still lost. Like he gave them everything he had. In Illinois, they were still just too much. If he goes for 40 this time, I don't know. But Illinois all around is just too powerful.
Mm-hmm. Jordan?
I want one of my good friends an apology here. I'm gonna take Illinois here.
All right. Jordan?
Yeah, I go with Illinois. Like I said, if they're playing good, I think they're the best team in the country.
Yeah.
Yep. And as I said, if they've made it this far, I think they're poised to win the whole thing. So I think if they've made the Final Four, they have a really good shot at winning the whole thing. And this right here is our national championship game for Views from the Sideline. If this is the actual national championship game, I think this would be a great game.
Yeah.
Right here. The matchups are really good. Jalen Suggs, Curbelo, Ayo Dosunmu. You got Timmy and Kispert.
Yeah.
Coburn.
Great
Like
matchup
the matchups are just really good. So let's go one by one. Jordan, you riding the Big Ten through and through? You taking Illinois in this one, or are you going with the Zags even though you hate them?
I saw the picture on Twitter this morning of Luther Head, Darren Williams, and so I love the old orange unis. And yep, I'm sticking Big Ten.
Is
Illinois.
this a bad time to bring up Myers Leonard?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad time.
Yeah, it's bad time.
I'm sorry. I had to. All right. Malik, who you got in this one?
Yeah. Even though Gonzaga, high-powered, undefeated all the way to the championship, I'm going with Illinois. Ayo Dosunmu has the experience over Jalen Suggs. Trent Frazier isn't afraid of the moment. He's going to knock down threes. Curbelo is so savvy. He's going to make great plays. And then Timmy and Kofi Coburn, I mean, that's a 50-50. It's skill versus power. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with Illinois.
Okay.
I think Gonzaga comes up short.
All right. I'll round it out at least to make our pick. I'm going with Illinois too. Again, I think at this point, if they've made it this far, they're ready. They're going to be ready to go. Io DeSumo, and those guys, I think, just play so tough. And to play through the Big Ten and come out on top, I think is just a big thing for them. I think it's kind of their year. I'm going with Illinois as our national champion. That'll be our pick. Sammy, I'll let you throw. Yeah, that's why I was saying I'm letting you take the floor so you can talk about it.
Well, Gonzaga here. I mean, I just think Gonzaga, the 76 Indiana team, they played a good schedule, even though I'm not so on the West Coast Conference schedule they played, but Gonzaga, they got enough talent. I mean, I think it's going to be a close game, but I just think that, Gonzaga's got too much firepower for Illinois.
Mm-hmm. Chris, what do you got?
Illinois.
Okay.
I think whoever came out of the Big Ten was going to win the national championship.
All right. Well, there we have it. We all stayed faithful to the Big Ten. Sammy did not. Our national championship for views from the sideline is Illinois.
What you got to do? Pick the score? Oh, well.
Nope.
Ooh.
Okay.
What's your score? What do you guys want the score to be?
79-78, Illinois.
Oh, man.
85-72, Gonzaga.
Well, we're going with Indiana winning, so.
Illinois wins. I'm going to go 83-78.
Okay, Jordan, what's your score?
Illinois wins 72-69.
So about 77 to
73.
74.
Okay.
All right. That's our final score. Our champion. I'll make it so it shines. There we go. I was in dark mode. So there we go. Illinois, our views from the sideline champion. We will put the link to this bracket in the YouTube video so people can check it out, can follow our tournament challenge. We're going to put our own individual brackets as well into those. So I'll send you guys, once I make the group, I'll send out a link, and we'll follow along with all of our individual brackets compared to our views from the sideline bracket. We'll be able to see what's going on. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm super excited about it. I'm so glad that you guys could join us. I love doing this bracket talk, getting everybody back in and being able to talk tournament basketball. Now it's just time to watch the games. Sammy, what are your final thoughts?
Well, let's see what happens. Everybody stay healthy and mask up.
Chris, what you got for us?
Cade Cunningham. I can't wait to see him in that piston blue.
He's not going to be in piston blue. Watch your mouth.
All right. I got to say Big Ten all the way. Jordan, you follow it?
Yeah. Big Ten, go Hawkeyes. And everybody have a good, happy, safe St. Patrick's Day for sure.
All righty. Well, this has been Views from the Sideline. Malik, don't worry, I didn't forget about you. I always leave you with the last comment. So, this has been Views from the Sideline. I'm your host, Joey Tysick. My friends, Sammy Taormina, Chris Pappas, Jordan Tysick, Malik Hill. We'll see you guys next time.
It's going to be sad seeing my Michigan guys go out. Now we're going right.
I'll be happy when they go out.
We're going right into Michigan football season. It's going to be
it's going to be a good year with Harbaugh, man.
What a year. 2021. Good times. Great times.